All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen from around the world. Welcome back to our Saturday special program where we show to you people who are making a difference in our world. And we hope you draw inspiration, you learn lessons, and you also join them in aiding their cause and seeing how we can make God's kingdom to, cover the earth as the water covers the sea. Now we've got an interesting guest with us today, and he's somebody who is Nigerian but is living in Ghana, and he's going to be talking to us about why he set up the African Greatness Development Academy. Now we are going to be hearing from him, and you're going to be listening to some of the lessons he's got to share, some of the challenges he's got to share. And you don't want to miss this, because if you're somebody who is looking to make a difference in your world, especially on the continent of Africa, you cannot know enough, you cannot hear enough, you cannot draw inspiration enough, because the challenges are enormous. The challenges are all around us, and we need as much as we can get. So I believe that our guest today is going to be showing us and telling us a lot that would help us to aid our own cause. And also, he will tell you how you can support his, and hope you can draw some inspiration from his success story and what he's doing so far in the continent of Africa. I'm your host, Joshua Amatare, coming to you live from Kyiv, Ukraine. Please share this link with as many of your friends as possible. You don't want to miss today's show, because like I said, there's a lot that is going to be learned. And I believe that at the end of the show, you'll be happy you joined us. So tell your friends, tell family members, share this on your wall. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can watch on either platform, and you can, share as much as you like. And I believe that you will be blessed and you will be happy that you did. All right, so without much further ado, please welcome Mr. Eugene Aso Ugheghele, all the way from Ghana. Hello, welcome, sir.
Good evening, Pastor Joshua. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's good to have you here with us.
Thank you, and I want to use the opportunity to thank Dr. Adelaja for this privilege.
All right. Well, I'm sure he's going to be pleased that you decided to join us as well, because, he's all about inspiring people to take their world for God, inspiring people to be forces of nature, forces of good, and that's something that you've become. So please talk to us about yourself. Tell us about who you are and how you, a Nigerian, ended up on loan in the beautiful country of Ghana. So give us a little update or background story on yourself.
My name is Eugene Aso Ugheghele, a sincere Pan-Africanist, a proud Nigerian, currently based in Ghana. I'm a happily married man, married to my heart, Edima, Eugene. I'm a man with a multiple grace, a mindset development consultant, a successful and happy life activator, a prolific writer, an educator, a present-day guru of greatness, a social reformer, and a teacher of the Word of God.
Fantastic.
I am today a leading voice across Africa in matters of selflessness, patriotism, service to humanity, greatness, successful and happy life, greed and self-centeredness, and an aggressive advocate for Africa to become the greatest continent on earth. I'm the founder of Eugene Aso Ugheghele Group, which comprises of Generation Without Good Initiative, Possibility Mentality Consulting, movement against dysfunctional parents in the world, Eugene Aso Ugheghele Greatness, Successful and Happy Life Academy, Feed Them with the Written Word Foundation, and lastly, African Greatness Development Academy International. That is who I am.
Amazing. You're really a man of many graces. And talk to us about how you unearthed some of these things. Where did you go to school? How did you come up with these initiatives? How did you discover yourself? And what is it that spurred you on to begin to do these things? Because what you're saying right now is not something that many Africans have discovered about themselves. And what you're doing is not something many Africans are doing. So we would like to know what your inspiration was and how you were able to gain as much knowledge of yourself as you have today.
Wow. Actually, I think I began to discover myself from 2003.
Okay.
When I started reading books, positive books. Then in 2005, I met the Lord, and that was a turning point in my life. And in meeting him, he gave me an assignment. So over the years, I have prepared myself along his assignment for my life. So right now, I'm just manifesting the assignment he placed on my life for my generation. So that is how it is.
Okay. So talk to us about some of these books. If people are listening and they're saying, what are some of these books that this man read that has made him the way he is? Can you tell us the titles of some of them so that others can go read them as well?
Yeah, I've read a lot of books.
Just talk to us about 5 that have impacted you the most.
5.
Yes, that have given you the most kick and the most lessons and inspiration that you needed at the time, or knowledge.
I think books that have actually impacted my life. Number 1 is the Bible.
All right.
It's an inspiration. Then number 2 book that have impacted my life is What Makes the Great Great.
All right. Do
That
you
is
know who the
another book
author of
that
that
really
book
impacted
is?
my life.
Can you remember who the author is?
Is
If you can't remember, no problem.
Dennis.
I just wanted to make it easier for people to find, but I'm sure that title is
Okay.
enough for them to check it out on their search engines, and I'm sure they will find it. Please go
Yeah,
ahead,
what
sir.
made the great?
Yeah,
Yeah, what made the
what
great
makes the
great?
great great? All right.
Yes. Then
Okay, we can come back to that later if you can't remember all of them right now. I'm sure as we continue in our discourse, you would be able to recollect some of them. All right. So talk to us about this initiative that you began, this African Greatness Development Academy. Talk to us about how it began and what the results have been so far since you started. When did you start, and what has it been like since the beginning up until today?
okay, actually, it started as an idea,
Okay.
and it was desire in 2003
Okay.
that Africa is going to be the next economic and political power of the world.
Okay.
But before this move, Africans will be taught and trained to be prepared for the coming move for this coming move to Africa. Then in 2013, October 9th, it became a divine assignment as I received a message with this concluding part. Africa is becoming the light of the world, where the rest of the world will be trooping to for spiritual, economic, and political solutions. And you are being sent to go as a light. That was 2013, October 9th.
All right.
So from there, I started this academy, this organization, of 2019.
Okay.
But before then, it was Greatness for All Academy, which I started in 2015. But it was not, I was not getting the full picture. But by 2019, I now have a complete idea of what I need to do. So I rebrand it to become African Greatness Development Academy International. So that is why we started 2019.
So what kind of results have you seen so far? How many students do you have? What are the outcomes that you're seeing so far in your academy?
Yeah, okay. I think let me explain this.
Okay.
African Greatness Development Academy International is an NGO.
All right.
And the purpose of African Greatness Development Academy International is to make Africa to become the greatest continent on earth by the close of this 21st century. Right. That is the idea behind African Greatness Development Academy International.
Okay.
Then to achieve this, we need to train Africans to be great personalities. So that is where African Greatness Development Academy comes in as a training arms. What do? We are to train Africans values, selflessness values, patriotism values, service to humanity values, greatness values that will make them great personalities, because Africa cannot become the greatest continent on earth until we have great Africans. It takes a great people to create a great society. So our idea is that our calling is to make Africa the greatest continent on earth by the end of this 21st century. But to achieve that, we Africans need to be trained on selflessness, on patriotism, on service to humanity, and on self-education. So those are what African Greatness Development Academy focuses on. In order to achieve the purpose of African Greatness Development Academy International, which is to help make Africa to become the greatest continent on earth. Hope you understand it.
Yeah, I understand you perfectly, and I'm sure our audience does as well. All right, so talk to us about some of the works that you've done. Have you begun this training, or you're still in the process of starting?
Yes, we created a course. We have created courses for 3 classes of Africans. The first class of Africans we created a course for is the public office holders and corporate leaders.
Okay.
The second classes of people we created a course for is the working class people. Then the last is young Africans and students. And this academy we are planning to start is tuition-free academy because it's a calling. In fact, right now, you can read our basic graded course for young Africans online free. But the idea actually about the academy is to have a training center where people will be trained on those values. And it's going to be absolutely free. We can't be pioneering selflessness, patriotism, and service to humanity and not live by an example. So that is why we are making our academy absolutely free for Africans to change their mind. So our courses right now are available. and we are planning of starting up a free tuition school called African Greatness Development Academy, where all those courses will be taught to these 3 classes of Africans.
Okay, fantastic. Where can people find these courses right now?
Right now, it is only the basic greatness course for young Africans between 15 and 25. You can read online.
But what website is it currently situated at?
It's not on website. It's just an e-commerce site. You can read it. If you go to our Facebook page on African Greatness Development Academy, you can find it. It's there.
Okay. So anybody who wants to see it can go to your Facebook page that is named African Greatness Development Academy, correct?
Yes. And look for
fantastic.
basic greatness course, online addiction. Then they will just click the link and take them to there to read.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
That's great. So you still hope to start the other 2 phases of training very soon. And do you intend to bring people to yourself, or do you intend to go to schools, go to offices, and go to different establishments to teach these courses?
Yes, we are exploring all options. We want to have a center where people can come in. We want to have an online. Online will be a reading course, but when you come to our center, you'll be taught. Then, if you want us to come to your establishments to train your people, we can come and do it. Our idea is just to teach people the values of selflessness, of service to humanity, because these values are lacking in Africa. That is why we are backward. I believe one of the reasons we are backward is that the black man is greedy and self-centeredness beyond discussion. And again, I believe that when people see the disadvantages of greed to our backwardness and the glory of selflessness of our greatness, they will embrace selflessness and service to humanity. So we are on a mission to educate Africans on the values of selflessness, of patriotism, of service to humanity, in order to raise great Africans, so that we can achieve our ultimate goal of making Africa the greatest continent on earth by the end of this 21st century.
All right. So when do you guys intend to actually start training people?
We have not started, because right now it's because of funds. We don't partners and sponsors is what we are looking for. If we have our facility, we can start right away, because all of our courses are on ground right away.
Oh, okay. Have you thought about going to high schools to teach them these things for free for a start? Because you can do those things without funds. For example, you can go to primary schools, high schools, universities to begin to lecture on some of these things. And I believe they will let you in, because what you're doing is enhancing the lives of the young people and the continent at large. Have you explored that option?
Yes, in 2008, we went to high schools. Then last year we were trying to go to a university to teach them, but we are not getting the green light. So those are some of the challenges we are having, because when they hear of what we want to teach, selflessness, patriotism, service to humanity, it's not really well received. Everybody just want to hear you teach them how to make money, how to break through and all that. But we won't, because the demands are not there, deviate from what our callings are. Because we know that what will help us, Africans, is values. Like I say, in the race of greatness, values are superior to skills. And until we begin to accept the realities that Africa cannot move forward until we change our mentality, until we begin to embrace selflessness, patriotism, and service to humanity, we will just be praying, keep on asking for foreign help, and remain in the same spot. Greatness always demands a price. And the price of greatness, like I keep on saying, in any nation, in any society, is selflessness, patriotism, service to humanity. So those are the things people, especially my people, Africans, need to understand. That is why I'm so happy for Dr. Sunday Adelaja for giving me this platform to help people to understand it is time we take our responsibility for the greatness of Africa by our own hands. And it cannot happen until we embrace selflessness, patriotism, service to humanity, self-education as our lifestyle, and make it the culture of Africa.
Those are very well said words, Mr. Eugene. But can you break it down for us a little bit? You've spoken a lot about these points that are pillars of your organization and how you think they can help Africa to become the greatest continent in the world. So talk to us about selflessness. Why do you think that selflessness is something that is needed? And how do you see selflessness aiding Africa to become the greatest continent in the world?
Wow.
Just give us a precursor to your course, if we can put it that way.
Yeah. Let's take one of my greatest role model. One of my greatest role model is Nelson Mandela. Today, South Africa are free from apartheid government because of one man. And there's only one thing there's only one word that defines Nelson Mandela: selflessness. That is why my course I created for public office holders and corporate leaders is customize a roadmap to becoming a great personality in public position of power and influence course for Africans. One of the model is Nelson Mandela. So if Nelson Mandela was not selfless, did not embrace selflessness, he could not sacrifice 26 years of his life for the freedom of his people. Now, when he became the president of Africa, of their country, he went for only one term and pull out. He did not say it is his birthright to become a life president. So imagine we have Nelson Mandela in every African country as their leader. Africa will actually become the light of the world. Look, the process to election is rigged, corruption. So how do you expect to have a society that develop, that bring transformation when greed and self-centeredness is what drives what we do in Africa? So Nelson Mandela is a symbol that when Africans embrace selflessness, the paradise we are praying for, we will experience it in this generation.
Fantastic. Right now, you told me about a man named Mandela, well known all over Africa and the world at large, and how he went to jail for 27 years. Now, you just told us about your heart, who is your precious wife. And what if somebody was to ask you, are you willing to give up your wife right now to go to jail for 27 years? And if you say yes, and the person asks you that, how do I develop this quality? Because this is not something that happens overnight. You cannot just tell people you need to be selfless. So what is the process to becoming selfless and being willing to let go of something as precious to you as your wife for the next 27 years to see that, I don't know, maybe you talked about corruption in elections. Let's say to see that corruption in elections becomes something that is taken care of.
Yes, you see, People always operate based on the level of information they have access to. When you have access to superior knowledge, you operate in that dimension. Africa don't have access to those knowledge. And that is why we are concentrating our teachings, our courses, now down to those values. Not, yes, skills are good. Go to school, but after that, come and learn the values so that you can be able to live a life that is meaningful. So Nelson Mandela can give up that because he was operating in a superior knowledge far above our current leaders in this generation. So the life you live is a product of the volume of the kind of or the level of knowledge you're operating. So you can't actually be selfless without superior knowledge that helps you to see the value, the virtue, the benefit, and the legacy you live for. So that is why we start by teaching to train Africans on this value, because when they are taught and they actually see it, they will live it.
Okay, so how can a young Nigerian, like you said that the course is free for those who are from 15 to 25. So can you tell us, sorry?
All the courses are free.
Yes, but you said right now the only one that is available online is that of the 15
to 25 years, yes.
All right, super. So can you tell us some of the tips as to how people can become selfless and how they can make themselves into Mandelas? Because if you say right now that they don't have access to that level of knowledge, they've got the internet and they've got the ability to read up on what you've spoken about. So talk to us about some of these points that people can begin to explore to make themselves selfless people, selfless leaders, and people who are willing to go all the way, including to the point of death, to see that Africa becomes great.
You see, living a selfless life begins by when you have decided to live for posterity. You see beyond just dying today and your name perish forever. So we have this mentorship to live for forever, even though when you are there, your name keep on living. And in fact, you can't even live a meaningful life without being a selfless person. So those are the things, and again, if you really want to be respected by man, not camouflage, real respect, if you really want to earn real respect from humanity, selflessness is the way out. Because when you are selfless and you are actually genuinely selfless, you earn respect. In fact, living a selfless life is actually what I call self-actualization. So you can't actually actualize yourself without living a selfless life. So those are some of the things we teach in those courses.
All right, you gave us 2 points. The first one, posterity. So nobody should look at themselves in the now. They should think of themselves 100, 200, 300 years from now. If you want to be remembered like Mandela long after you're dead, selflessness is the way to go. Correct? And
Yes.
then you now said respect. If you want respect, you have to be selfless. Now, some Africans will tell you that where I'm from, that doesn't fly because most of the people who are respected are people who are the wealthiest and people who are the most powerful. So those are the people who are respected, not people who are selfless. So what will you say to such people who claim the pursuit of money is more important than the pursuit of selflessness? And you are, acquiring power and amassing as much wealth as possible is a lot safer for you in Africa today than it is to think of a selfless pursuit. What would be your response to such a person?
Yeah, it's very simple. I would draw the attention to Nelson Mandela. When he died, over 100 nations were represented in his burial. But Nelson Mandela was not the richest man in Africa. Even though today now, in fact, because of his impact, his birthday is declared an international day. Money does not buy genuine respect. People can just respect you on a face value because of your money. But that is why I say if you want to earn genuine respect from humanity, selflessness is the way to go. So yes, again, those are some of the cultural defects Africans have found themselves, the crazy for wealth. Nobody cares about value, money. Why? Because when you live in a society that is deprived, that is hunger, poverty, suffering, then the quest for wealth for survival becomes the order of the day. Africa really have an issue. So that is why we want to change this orientation. Mindset reformation is the way to go. Not about living for survival, but living for posterity. The reason why everybody talk about America today, because they have these values. That is why they are better. They are more selfless, more patriotic, more service to humanity. Measure all the big philanthropist organizations in the world, they are from America. Africa's ones are lipsticks. They give to get. But I believe that when people are exposed to selflessness and they find themselves in government and they live a selfless life, they will make life easier for Africans. When survival is not what you live for, it is easier for you to embrace selflessness. But when there is hunger and all you think of how to survive, nobody wants to listen to selflessness. Because now our society celebrates crooks, fraudsters, celebrate people that steal government money. So we want to change this orientation. That is the way to go. That is why today now Africans always want to travel to the Western world because the place is better. Nobody want to travel to nobody want to travel to America if Africa is better than America. Americans come to Africa to make money, not because they are looking for a greener pasture. America was not built by angels. They were built by men that were selfless. They were service to money giving. They were patriotic. That is the same thing we want to create in Africa. If we can be able to change the mentality of Africans to be selfless, to be patriotic, to be service to humanity driven, Africa will be the greatest continent on earth. Nothing will stop it. I'm convinced about this. But it cannot happen until we change our values from greediness and self-centeredness to selflessness, patriotism, and service to humanity.
All right. Talk to us about patriotism. How do you intend to instill the mentality of patriotism into Africans?
I think, first of all, I believe patriotism. Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
I said, how do you intend to instill, how do you intend to make Africans embrace this mentality of patriotism as opposed to what they currently have?
That is why we have created courses to train Africans for free. You don't need to pay money. Just give, if we just come for our courses, we take you through it. In fact, we have designed the courses whereby within 1 week, you are through with the courses. It's not just to
we understand that you've got courses, but since they're not available online now, can you just give us a little bit of what you have planned?
The basic graded course online talk about patriotism. They can read it.
Okay, that course also has patriotism. Okay, so tell us a little bit of what you have online. Just give us a little tip on what it is that you have in the package of patriotism and why it's important and why Africans need to embrace it. Or you rather prefer people just go read up on it?
I think that is why I put it online. And it's free. You don't have anything to lose.
Okay. All right. What about the last point of service to humanity? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
You say what?
I said, what about service to humanity, the third pillar in
Okay,
your,
service to humanity.
yes. Talk to us a little bit about that and why people need to be involved in that as Africans.
Okay, yeah, definitely. That is one of the things we are doing now.
Okay.
What we are doing is service to humanity.
All
What
right.
we have that will benefit others, we are giving to them free of charge.
Okay.
Now, service to humanity, like we want it to become a culture in Africa. Like the Tony Elumelu Foundation, that is service to humanity. Like Kanu Wonkom Foundation, that is service to humanity. We want that to become a culture in Africa, whereby you do things for the betterment of humanity, not just what to get. Use your blessing, whatever you are blessed with, whatever skill, knowledge, whatever you have, use it for the betterment of humanity, not just to make money for yourself and family alone. We want it to become a culture. It's not yet a culture. It's just few people that are doing it. You don't have to be a billionaire to embrace service to humanity. I don't have money. What I have is knowledge. I'm giving it out. I have free books that people can read online. So we want it to become a culture, a lifestyle. You don't have to become the billionaire, a millionaire to embrace selflessness, service to humanity. Everybody can if they are actually taught right. Unfortunately, our schools are designed just to teach you skill, but not values that will make you to be more relevant to your society, but how to just to survive. So we just want to add this to it. Learn skills, but then live a life that is impactful by embracing service to humanity. So that's why we want to live what we are preaching. We don't just say do a service to, no. That's why what we are doing in this place is service to humanity, giving our knowledge free of charge to Africans that will help them to become a better humanity, that will help them to become a better personality. So now imagine that everybody that got through our courses and they benefited, and then they follow that trend. Okay, let me take you back to Nigeria. Today, now the Western world talk about Awolowo. He was in government, he used his power for the betterment of his region. But unfortunately, all the governors we have in Southwest today benefited from the free education, but they don't follow the. Imagine if all from Awolowo down to now, to this generation, every governor follow the path of Awolowo. Nigeria will become a Dubai or a paradise. So Awolowo will live a life of service to humanity with his power. That is one of the things we want to teach people in public position of power and influence. Use your position for the betterment of the people, not just for your friends and yourself. No. So those are the ideals we want to sell to Africans.
All right. I believe that those of you who are watching, you're learning one or two things and you're able to, engage with this discussion, because we believe that the things that Mr. Eugene is talking about are things that are needed. So, Mr. Eugene, where can people find you if they need your courses?
Yes, they can go through my Facebook page, African Greatness Development Academy, or Eugene Aso Ugheghele, the 21st Century Reformer page, Facebook page, or to my Twitter handle, Gene without greed, at Gene without greed. So, or my email, eugeneasoughegele@gmail.com. So through all these means, they can contact me.
Okay, fantastic. So any final words for Africans before we go today? Since you're yet to start, we can only say we wish you the very best, and we hope you begin, and we hope your movement spreads all across America, because the message that you have is a unique one, and it's a much needed one, and it's very important. I love your passion, and I believe that it's something that is infectious and should go a long way to help you to impact our young minds, most especially with these values of selflessness, self-development, patriotism, and serving humanity. So, any final words before we go?
Yeah, I have 3 messages for Africans.
All right.
Number 1, join me in making Africa the greatest continent on earth by the close of this 21st century, because it is non-negotiable and it's already becoming a reality. The second message is that let's endeavor to embrace selflessness, patriotism, and service to humanity as our lifestyle, and make them the culture, the dominant culture in Africa, because it is achievable. And then finally, let's make greed a taboo and self-centeredness to be seen as witchcraft in Africa, because it is possible. These are my messages for Africans, and if we can be able to embrace these 3 messages, by the end of this 21st century, Africa will actually become the greatest continent on earth. That is my message.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Eugene. It was great having you on the show today. Thank you for the knowledge that you've given unto us. And we, like I said, we wish you the very best. And we hope that your initiative is up and running soon, so that you can begin to change hearts and minds all over the continent and create a lot more patriotic and Pan-Africanists like yourself. Our love to your partners, your wife, and everyone around you. Thank you very much, and God bless.
And thank you too. And I want to really thank Pastor Dr. Sunday Adelaja for this opportunity. Then I want to again thank my teams. They have been very wonderful. Mr. Frank, Pastor Alex, Miss Edima, Mr. Edward, and myself. So I want to thank them for what we have done so far. So, and again, thank you, Pastor Joshua, for this opportunity. Bye.
Well, it's my pleasure. All right, bye for now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Eugene all the way from Ghana talking to us about his initiative and some ideas that he thinks can make Africa the greatest continent in the world. And I believe that what he's saying is not far-fetched. If you look into the details and if you go behind the scene to look at the resources, both human and natural, that we've got, and even spiritual, you'll be able to tell that Africa has the potential to be the greatest continent in the world. But there are a lot of things that we're lacking, and I'm happy that he has found his passion and he's willing to educate and transform the minds of people to be able to accomplish that goal. I don't know what your own part is in this whole scenario of making Africa the greatest continent in the world. You might be in the IT industry, you might be in the medical industry, you might be in the religious industry or the religious sphere, or you might be in the sports sphere, you might be in the social entertainment sphere, the political sphere. But whatever sphere that you're in, make sure that you're driving Africa towards this goal of being the best in the world. And the only way we can do that is by learning from the best, is by educating ourselves, is by being selfless, is by making sure that we imbibe the values that he has spoken to us about today, because these are the values that would help us to accomplish a great continent. You cannot be selfish and have the greatest continent in the world. You cannot be greedy and have the greatest continent in the world. You cannot be selfish and have, the best of things in life for everyone around you, because you want to hoard it all to yourself. And selflessness is something that breeds, patriotism. It expands and it creates an environment of wealth creation, of freedom, of joy, and it makes it for a better world. And I believe that as we pursue our goals in our different spheres, I believe that sooner or later we'll be celebrating in Africa. No matter what country you're in, north, south, east, and west, the core remains the same. What are you doing to enhance Africa's greatness? What are you doing to enhance the greatness of your country? What are you doing to enhance the abilities, the talents, the gifts that God has given to you so that you can be a blessing to your world? If you can answer these questions, definitely, then that means you're somebody who has begun on a journey to greatness. And I believe that not long from now, we'll also be celebrating your results. It is possible, no matter how poor you are, no matter how, uneducated you might be, no matter how disenfranchised you might be, no matter how helpless you might feel, We've got a God who is capable of taking you from nowhere to somewhere. And we've got books, we've got free books online now, we've got access to information more than we did before. Of course, there are places in Africa that have no electricity, no light, and all that, and we hope to get to them one day. But I'm talking to people who are within the grasp of electricity, of civilization, of, in the internet. You can always educate yourself. DSA has a lot that he has put out there in forms of his blog, Dr. SundayAdelajablog.com, or his YouTube page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and you've got series upon series, playlist upon playlist of different ways that you can educate yourself to upgrade your mind and make you a useful tool in this world. I believe that as you take advantage of all of these avenues, you're somebody who eventually would be able to be a gift to your world, and you're somebody who the world will reckon with. Now, if you want to buy any of Dr. Sunday's books, you can go to Amazon.com, and wherever you are in the world, as long as Amazon, doesn't discriminate against your country, you can definitely get those books. And if you're in Nigeria, you can go to dsabooksplanet.com, and you'll get all of the books of DSA, or most of them, on that platform. You get books on national development, you get books on developing yourself as a personality, building virtues, building principles, building wealth, building churches, building a marriage, building a family, building your prayer life, your spiritual life, your faith life. All of these books are out there for you to explore. In Nigeria, we've also got a new platform. I hear it's called bambooks.io. That is the website. It's called Bambooks. So if you go to bambooks.io, I believe their system is kind of a subscription thing, where if you subscribe, you're able to read as many books in a month as you please. So please take advantage of all of these resources, and sooner or later, you wouldn't feel helpless anymore. Mr. Eugene said something that was very important, and he said most people only operate on the level of knowledge that they have. If you feel helpless, if you feel you don't know what to do, if you're out of ideas, it's all because your knowledge is limited. Go for new ideas. Go for more knowledge, and sooner or later, you'll be bursting with faith, bursting with confidence, bursting with ideas, and willing to step out of your comfort zone to begin to impact your continent. All right, we're going to be back here same time next week with another amazing guest. You don't want to miss it. So, ladies and gentlemen, until then, keep taking territories for God, keep making your world a better place, keep making yourself a force for good in our world. And I believe that sooner rather than later, Africa will be celebrated as the greatest continent in the world. It might sound far-fetched right now, but all that matters is the vision. And we've got the vision, and we've got people willing to work towards it. What is holding you or stopping you from joining us? There is absolutely nothing. So join us, it's not too late, and see you same time right here next week. Till then, God be with you. Bye for now.